96.5 FM, KCAA Loma Linda.
All right. Welcome back, KCAA listening audience. This is the Cool Veteran Show. We are here to do this thing again. My name is Charles Whitehead. I'm the president of the Paralyzed Vets of America California chapter, which is here in Long Beach, California. We have an office in the VA hospital there in Long Beach, and we're just here to talk about what we talk about, some of the things we do as a chapter. Me being the president, and my co-host coming on today is Martha Varela. She is the executive director at the PVA California chapter, and we are both veterans. And I'm not sure if the third person is coming in. That would be Elizabeth Yao. She's taking some time off for some personal reasons. So anyway, here we are today. What I'll do is I'll start talking about, this is Black History Month, and so I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the people that we never hear about in history. So I know you're familiar with the African American women who were pioneers in U.S. history. You may have heard of Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Rosa Parks, Madam C.J. Walker, and Shirley Chisholm. But have you heard of the many black women who also served in the U.S. military and broke barriers while working on the front lines or providing, support to U.S. soldiers and civilian employees? Here are 5 amazing women who have made that significant contributions to the U.S. military. First, there's Command Sergeant Major Mildred C. Kelly. She served in the U.S. Army from March 1947 to April 1976. And initially, Miss Kelly was a career, had a career in chemistry after graduating from Knoxville College in Tennessee. She later became a high school teacher before eventually deciding to join the Army in 1972. 1972. That doesn't make sense. That number is wrong. But anyway, she made history by becoming the first black female sergeant major in the U.S. Army. 2 years later, she achieved another milestone by becoming the first black woman to hold the highest enlisted position at a major Army installation whose population was predominantly male. Even after the retirement, she served on various boards, including the Women in Military Service for American Memorial Foundation, Maryland Veterans Commission, and Veterans Advisory Board. Now, before I go on to the next 4 women in black history, I'm going to get Martha Varela on the line here. She's the co-host. Martha, how you doing today?
Hello.
I know Martha's busy. We as a chapter have been busy. Martha, tell us a little bit, a quick one about yourself, what you're doing and, your role with the PVA, and then we're going to keep on going with the Black History segment.
Sure. Thank you, Charles. My name is Martha Varela. I'm the executive director of the California Paralyzed Veterans of America California chapter here in Long Beach, California. We're located inside of the Long Beach VA hospital, where we have been for the past 50-plus years. The organization has been around for over 74 years. It's one of the first in the original PVAs of now 33 chapters across the country.
Is it 74 or 78?
78 years, yes, absolutely. But we have been doing this great advocacy work for a very long time, working for the rights of the disabled veteran population, and in particular our veterans that have spinal cord injury, spinal cord disease, and or MS and ALS. So a little bit about me. I'm an Army veteran. Originally grew up in Minnesota. I've been here in California working with the PVA and just enjoying my time. So I'll let you get back to the Black History Month segment, Charles, and we'll go on from there.
Okay, great. Once we take the break, we'll tell you what, we got some good things for you today. Okay, so our second black female veteran is Staff Sergeant Malone, Joyce B. Malone. She served in the Marines and the Army Reserve. She enlisted in the Marines in 1958 and served for 4 years. After leaving the Marine Corps, Malone got married and finished college at Fayetteville State University. A few years later, while working at Fort Bragg, she joined the U.S. Army Reserve, Fort Bragg's 82nd Airborne Division in 1971. At the age of 38, Malone made history in 1974 by becoming the first and oldest black woman to earn airborne wings in the United States Army Reserve. She completed 15 parachute jumps during her time in the Army Reserves. I got to give it up for her, even though I've done that myself. I jumped out of the plane one time. That was enough for me. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Brigadier General Hazel W. Johnson Brown. Miss Brown, she served in the U.S. Army from 1955 to 1983, receiving numerous awards and decorations. Miss Johnson Brown attended the Harlem School of Nursing and began her career at Harlem Hospital as an operating room nurse. In 1955, 7 years after President Truman eliminated segregation in the military, she enlisted in the U.S. Army. Ms. Johnson Brown served in various positions across the world, including Japan, where she trained nurses on their way to Vietnam. She made history in 1979 by becoming the first black woman general officer to take charge of 7,000 nurses in the U.S. Army Corps. Okay? And then we got Major General Marcelette J. Harris. Major General Harris began her career serving in the U.S. Air Force in 1965 after completing officer training school at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. She was the first female aircraft carrier aircraft maintenance officer, one of the first 2 female officers commanding at the U.S. Air Force Academy, and the Air Force's first female director of maintenance. She also served as a White House social aide during the Carter administration, and Ms. Harris, she received the Bronze Star Presidential Unit Citation and the Vietnam Service Medal among her many decorations, and retired as a Major General in 1997. She was the highest-ranking female officer in the Air Force and the nation's highest-ranking African-American woman in the Department of Defense. Now, we'll talk about Sergeant Danielle Wilson. Sergeant Wilson became the first African-American woman to earn the prestigious Tomb Guard badge when she became a sentinel at the Tomb of the Unknowns on January 22, 1997. She joined the U.S. Army in February 1993 as a military police officer in the MP Company, 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment. That's the Old Guard. Ms. Wilson completed rigorous training and became part of the Honor Guard Company of the Old Guard. After receiving the Silver Emblem, she said she was glad the training was over and felt honored to be the first African-American woman to earn it. These women paved the way for future generations of female military personnel and black women having served and continue to serve in the U.S. military. Their stories should inspire us to appreciate the sacrifices and contributions of those who have served, are serving, or will serve their country. Well, you know, that was nice knowing all that, because the Army has always traditionally, or not the Army, but the military has always been a traditionally male-dominated environment. So women have they've had it hard. And then I'll let you chime in, Martha. You being a woman vet yourself, you know, you have the experience of you know, how it is working with a bunch of males in a military environment.
Correct. And although traditionally the military has been predominantly male, women veterans are, in fact, the fastest growing population of veterans now. So there is a lot more room for support and, you know, and for our women veterans as we are growing in numbers. And again, the fastest growing the largest growing of the two. So there's been a lot of changes to kind of incorporate more support for our women veterans in the military.
Yeah, that's great. Women are they've proved themselves, that they're capable of, doing the job. I mean, some of these women are way better than some of these men, and I mean that's just fact. There's, I know there's the ego part of, men who say, oh yeah, woman, but you know what? Hey, if it comes down to it, and I have a strong woman that's working with me on the side of, if I'm in the war, I'll take that any day over a guy whose ego is tough, but he's scary, So, I mean, it's not about who you are. It's about, who you are inside. And I mean, it's not about you being a woman or a man. It's, what makes you is your toughness and your agility, your strength, and all of that good stuff. So what we're going to do, today, like I say, it's Black History Month. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about one of our very own who served in the military. She was part of our chapter, and just a friend I knew her, and so we'll catch you back in a few minutes here. We're gonna play a little music for you.
I wanna take time to tell you just how my love maneuvered through my world. I always had the highest respect for her because she was a Christian girl. I always thought of her as the prettiest thing a guy could ever wanna see. I don't know how she blew my mind. It's like she put a spell on me. She also used to think very high of me and thought that I was really cool. I remember when, back in the days, I used to make her laugh in school. That's because she's the one
I gave my heart to.
She's the one,
No one compared to.
she's the one,
The one my love.
she's the
I'm
one.
always thinking of.
Back in the days when I was young and every day was always good, hanging out with my homeboys in my old neighborhood. We used to talk all of the time about the girls that we would date. If you had 2 or 3 or more, you really topped the Mackin game. There was the one, when she came around, with me she used to have her way. All she had to do was look in my eyes, and I was hers the rest of the day. That's because she's the one,
I gave my heart to.
she's the one,
No one compared to.
she's the one,
The one my love.
she's the one,
I'm always thinking of.
she's the one,
That breaks me down.
she's the
I
one,
wanna be around.
she's the one.
But I must say that always makes my day. If you ever find one that's right for you, don't take them for granted. Love them and never let them get away from you.
25 years have come and gone. I'm proud to say I married her, and now we have kids that are grown. That's our dad. Every now and then I run into the guys I used to hang out with. Some of them are still into playing games. I guess they'll always be doing it. I can truly say the one that I have has surely been worth the wait. Yes, cause now she's my wife and my best friend. But best of all, she's my soulmate. I can tell you she's the one,
I gave my heart to.
she's the one,
No one compared to.
she's the one,
That one my love.
she's the one.
I'm always thinking of.
She's the one.
I gave my heart to.
She's the one.
No one compared to.
She's the one.
The one my love.
She's the one.
I'm always thinking of.
She's the one.
That breaks me down.
She's the
I
one.
wanna be around.
She's the one.
And I must say.
She's the one that always makes my day. 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 Makes my
All right. We are back. You know, that she's the one that goes out to our women veterans. So Martha, now we're going to talk about one of our very own. She was someone I knew. She was a friend. I played basketball, wheelchair basketball with her many years ago, and she came out to be a great rowing person, and that her name is Angela Matson, and she was a Martha. Are you with me here?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Martha, you didn't get a chance to meet Angela, but you've read about her and heard some of the things, and even before I got actively involved with the PVA, I was she was part of the board of directors in the California chapter, but I knew her way back when we were like I say, she was playing basketball, but she started the adaptive rowing program in Long Beach, and Angela was she was a stud. She was strong. She's very strong, and that's what you do when you row. So I'll just tell you kind of what happened. She decided that she had done this before, that she rowed to Hawaii with someone else. I believe she did it with as a team, but and there was a chance. There was a time that she went out to do it herself alone, and I think she got sick when she was on the way, and so she had a support team, and they basically had to take her back, back home. But here in 2020. She went another shot at it. She said, "Okay, I'm gonna row to Hawaii," and I think she was gonna take her like 4 months to get there, and that's a long way from. I think she started in Marina Del Rey, and so I give it up to her because hey, that's what you call courage and well determined, and so she did. She took off and she lived in Long Beach with her wife Deb. And she had her boat set up. Her boat was called Row of Life, and she had solar panels. She had MRE. I think she had a water desalinator because of course you can't drink ocean water when you're out there. But she had all the tools, and she had GoPros and things like that. And she was communicating with the person that her name is Soraya. There's a documentary coming out about Angela. It's called Row of Life. I don't know exactly when it's going to be released, but it's coming soon, and we'll catch you up on that. But Angela was she was determined. She was going to do this, and I was actually following her. So like there was a news channel that was following. They were having this. Oh, let's see where Angela's at. They were, just following her, and so it was a pleasure just knowing that. I said, that even her when she took off, the first thing that she did, the winds were blowing her so hard toward the south. She was almost like she was headed toward Mexico, and she had to kind of regain her posture or something, not her posture, but she had to regain her course, and she ended up going on the south side of Catalina Island, where the winds weren't as strong because the island broke them, and she was doing her thing. I got to give it up to her again. You're all by yourself out there with a bunch of fish, and who knows what other kind of marine life is out there, but it was a daring thing. again, Martha, I know you didn't know her, but you've heard some things about her, some good things about her in the chapter, if I believe. Just her strength. Being again, another strong woman vet, and disabled. Because she had spinal cord injury. Was it? Let's see.
Yes,
Yes.
correct. hmm and very active in the PVA, as you mentioned, board of directors, but also with the housing and some possible employment programs, and just a real advocate for the PVA, as you mentioned, a Marine veteran, really active in both wheelchair basketball and rowing, right? And as we're learning more about her life and her life story, we're going to try to see if there's a way that the Long Beach VA hospital, possibly with the PVA's involvement or some support and help, possibly show the documentary to the PVA and to the folks in Long Beach. But we'll keep you posted on that, because we'll have to speak to Deb, her wife, and then possibly whoever the film folks are that are showing the documentary in other places. But it would be fitting, I think, to have some sort of viewing or support for the viewing, whether inside the hospital or in Long Beach somewhere, maybe at a theater or something, that we're open to, being a part of bringing it to Long Beach for all of the extended PVA folks and other veterans in Long Beach that might want to learn more about her life. As you mentioned, I did not have the opportunity to meet her, although I've heard just such wonderful things about her Paralympic experience. Again, being involved in the Pan American Games and World Rowing Champions. She was involved in the shot put and the javelin, even after her injuries. It sounded like she had some spinal cord injury and then a possible accident that and afterward that might have made the disability in the back kind of more permanent with her legs. And so we anything that we can do to support, again, that viewing of her documentary or her life in Long Beach, the PVA is going to get some more information about how we can do that and be supportive to that.
Yes, that is true. And so me following her, and if you don't know, I'm a songwriter, because if you listen to these songs during our break, these are songs that myself and the band per se, we write our own music. So why not let you guys listen to some of our homemade stuff? We are a original band. We're Per Se. You can check us out on persetheband.com, or check us up on Facebook, Per Se. That's PERSE, 2 words, Per Se the band. And again, I'm Charles Whitehead. And so with Angela, I was following her, and I was so inspired. I said, you know what? I'm gonna write a song about her, because it was after I found out, when I woke up one morning and I looked on online, and there was the headline, Angela Matson dies while rowing. I'm like, what? I was shocked, and it kind of hit me, because I was really rooting for her. And so her filmmaker is her name was Soraya Simi, and so Soraya was kind of keeping track of her, and also Deb, Angela's wife, was keeping track. And so she had got about halfway, and so she would get messages from her wife, Deb, and Soraya would get messages from her wife, and then they would relay that to us as the people who were tracking or following her. And one day, Angela said, I'm gonna have to get in the water tomorrow, because, and I remember her talking about while she was rowing, the waters were rough sometimes, and she said, I almost got thrown off the boat. But she did, she did have herself tethered in, which is good. So, but she told her, she sent a message and said that tomorrow I'm getting in the water to fix one of her anchors. I can't tell you exactly what kind of anchor, but and so then she stopped communicating. And so it's like, okay, what's going on, and then Soraya ended up calling the Coast Guard and tell her, because by then she was 2 months out. She was halfway there, either almost halfway, a little over. But she was 1,000 miles from any land, in the middle. And so Soraya called the Coast Guard, and they said, well, we can dispatch a ship that's going out there, but they didn't know exactly where she was, so they got an airplane and they went out and they looked and they said, oh yeah, we can see her, out there. They, but they, of course, you're flying over, so you don't really have any contact with her. But so what they did is the Coast Guard sent there was a container ship that was leaving Oakland, I believe, and going to Tahiti, and so they asked them to, they were kind of going by her way, where she was at, could they stop through? And sure enough, they did, and the Coast Guard reported that yes, they found her in the water tethered to her boat. She was, she had died, and so that was a hard one to swallow. And she was the, Angela was the, and her wife Dad said, in a year of such tumult and bad news, Angela now was a beacon of light that gave us something inspiring to cheer for. And that was true, because I was cheering for her. But, some of the things, like Martha said, she was a 3-time Paralympian, aiming to become the first paraplegic, first openly gay athlete, and oldest woman to row across the Pacific Ocean alone. And she had no support team. She was doing it well. She was doing it by herself, and she felt like she could do it. So, her wife had to confirm the news on that she had passed, and so the cruise ship picked her. I mean, not the cruise ship. The container ship picked up her body, and they put her and took her with them to Tahiti, and then on the way back they ported at I think they ported somewhere in Long Beach, and of course delivered her body, but they didn't take her boat, and so her boat was out floating, and I believe Soraya and a few people, they got a few people together, and they went to go and try to see if they could track her boat down, and I think they made it look for a couple of weeks, but to no prevail, trying to, well, they didn't find it. So about a year later, I believe, or so, somewhere in there roughly, her boat washed up on a third world island somewhere, and whoever found the boat raided it, so all of the stuff she had on there, GoPros, cameras, and everything was gone. So, I don't even know if they know how to use the stuff. I don't know exactly. I can't tell you the details, but it's it was a challenge she took on, and we got to give it up to Angela. She was a strong person. She was always strong, and man, she went through breast cancer, and she fought that, and she had a lot of things she was just fighting, and and so I wrote this song called "Challenge Accepted." And it was, again, about her. She took on the challenge, and what we're going to do is, let me see, you can get in touch with Soraya Simi. She is the filmmaker and then the director. I think I have some information here. Just Google Row of Life. That's the name of the documentary, Row, ROWOF. Life. That's her boat. That was the name of her boat. Angela Matson, Row of Life. If you Google that and find out, and if, like Martha said, we'll see if we can provide a viewing somewhere, either at the VA or somewhere close, somewhere in Long Beach or whatever. We'll do it because we want to make sure everybody knows about her. I mean, the last time I saw her, it was at a sporting event. We were, because there were a lot of disabled events in and so we got to chat here and there. But we played basketball together at Casa Colina back in I think that was in the late '90s or something like that, or the mid to early somewhere. But anyway, we're going to play this song. It's called Challenge Accepted, and then we're going to get back to you on the other side, and we are going to talk about heart. What is it called, Martha? Exactly, the Heart Healthy Month.
Yes, we're wrapping up the Heart Health Month in February with our sponsors, the American Heart Association, and we'll talk a little bit about some community resources available from Southern California Edison, our sponsors for the radio show, and then finish with some activities that the PVA has coming up for both women vets and as we highlight, women veterans in this segment.
All right. Take it, Joe.
A challenge she wanted to take. It was a challenge. It was a challenge. But Angela wasn't afraid. Roll to Hawaii, roll to Hawaii, roll to Hawaii. Go ahead, girl. Angela, roll to Hawaii, do your thing. So she started on her way till she proceeded and started her journey from Marina Del Rey. Her plan was to end her journey to Hawaii on a summer day. About halfway there, unexpectedly, something went terribly wrong. Sadly, she was floating next to a boat in the water alone. She had the heart, she had the drive, determined and tough. When all is said and done, she died doing what she truly loved. Although she didn't make it, give her props because she chose to take it. Be strong, have no fear, was her attitude. The message that
All right, we're back. We're back. We got to give it up for Angela Matson. You know, what a warrior she was. So now we're going to go on to our segment and talk about the Heart Health Month. And I'll let you go ahead and start on that, Martha.
Sure. So we've been working in partnership with the American Heart Association to kind of bring a heart-healthy food pantry and food resources to our veteran community at PVA, although the food pantry is open to anyone in Long Beach and the surrounding area. As unfortunately, 1 in 4 families in Long Beach suffer from food insecurity. So we've been working really hard to partner with the American Heart Association, and again in celebration of Heart Health Month in February of each year. Just wanting to provide both groups, if there are any organizations, companies, or large groups that want to get involved in the effort, as well as individually what you can do to kind of prioritize heart health, and particularly during the month of February. So we talked last week a little bit about that, but just to kind of build on that, just making sure that you're prioritizing the food selection that people eat and buy and bring into the home. There's a nice little certification, a red check mark that the American Heart Association sort of co-sponsors or kind of puts their stamp of approval on. So as you're out in the grocery store, it's encouraged to look for that check mark. And again, just saying that the American Heart Association has certified that particular food item, that it meets the criteria for heart-healthy food. So making sure that that heart check mark, again, is an easy way for you to incorporate some of that heart-healthy food into your diet, into your shopping cart, and then eventually into your home. When you see it, you can be confident that the product aligns with the American Heart Association's recommendation for an overall healthy eating pattern. So again, a good source of nutrients, making sure that you're naturally getting 10% or more of your daily vitamins, one of the 6 nutrients, vitamin A, vitamin C, iron, calcium, protein, and or dietary fiber. Also looking for food that's low in sodium. 1 of 4 sodium limits applies depending on the particular food category, but being mindful of what your sodium intake is as you're again eating food, buying food, and then limiting the bad fats, right? So the saturated fats, serving size, making sure that your trans fats are also something that you're paying attention to. And if you want to learn more, you can go to heartcheck.org. And again, that nice, easy heart check mark that's on the back of food. Most of you have probably seen it, but just to be mindful of it as a guideline to make sure that you're eating healthy. Now, if there are any groups out there that want to do a larger event, in particular a food drive of some sort, there are also ways that the American Heart Association can provide companies with support. This can be toolkits with step-by-step guidance, resources, and supply lists to actually do a virtual kickoff. If you guys, there's groups out there that want to help support organizations like the PVA with food drives or other organizations in your community. Again, it's a way to gather the employees that you work with together so that they can learn about how easy and how impactful a food drive like this could be. And then again, give you the assistance and guidance that you might need for the group to co-sponsor an event or an activity, and be supportive. Again, get support from the American Heart Association staff. So if there's any companies out there that are interested in getting employees together to collect nutritious food and partner with a community nonprofit like the PVA, you can also reach out to Juliet.Martinez, who is the, I think she's the, with the Community Relations Department, Assistant Vice President, and she can be contacted at Juliet.Martinez@heart.org. So again, just looking to help provide more healthy food, equity, and access to the larger communities together as a group, as a company, organization. It's really kind of been exciting to partner with the American Heart Association to get our food pantry up and running. Once upon a time, we were giving away coffee and candy to our veterans, which we know is not the most healthy of all of the choices. And so we've been very excited to partner with the Heart Association in particular to promote Healthy Heart Month. But they have recently, starting in November, partnered with us to get our food pantry of more healthy food choice items, heart healthy foods, up and off the ground. So we want to thank Juliet and all of those at the American Heart Association for helping the PVA California chapter move our food pantry to a more healthy starting point. So thank you to Juliet and folks and also the Niagara Water, because Niagara Cares also has some involvement with our food pantry. So do not want to forget to say thank you to Niagara Cares and the Niagara Water Company for their generous donation to the PVA, and again, helping make sure that we can get heart healthy food in our pantry and out into the homes of veterans and others in Long Beach, and then water donations that they have. So if there's other groups of nonprofits out there that might be in need of donations of water, the Niagara Cares Foundation also, or the Niagara Cares group is also available into the community groups for donations of water as well. So thank you to Niagara Cares.
Yes, they are. I mean, it's great. As a matter of fact, when I say they, the Heart Walk and the Niagara Cares, they're kind of go hand in hand. They want to come on the show, so we're going to have them on. We don't know yet when, but they're coming on, and it'd be great to have them come in and talk about all of the things that they're doing. With the American Heart Association is big, and anytime you have water, everybody needs water. I don't know anyone who doesn't. Not one person that's living can't say they don't need water. But and so these things are important, and especially like you say with our food bank, we're going out and they give us. We go to the food banks, and we get donations from these companies, and we're just out delivering and distributing and stuff to our members and our veterans and just in the community in general, and it's a big deal. So we want to keep that up, keep going with it, and we got to give it up to Joe, our engineer over here at KCAA. He's the man. It's like Joe comes over here and makes sure things are right. He's patching us in, and we got to give it up to KCAA. They're here at 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, and KCAA is what's they're saying, the station that leaves no listeners behind. So, and they're streaming, and so this you can find this if you're local, you can hear it, but if you can't hear it, you can go online and they stream it online. They videotape the show and they stream it through YouTube and other places. I don't have the exact list, but we want to give it up for KCAA. This is the way we wanted to reach our listeners and build our followers up as well. And if you call the Heart Walk or any of those sponsors, tell them we sent you. The Cool Veteran Show, Martha Charles, and tell them we sent you. The PVA is we're out here doing our part. So we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to just tell you about some of the events and things that are coming up for us as a PVA, as a chapter, and as just in general, and where to look and find us. So we want to go ahead and we'll be back in like 3 minutes or so, 3.5.
Shoodle-dip, beat-it, shoodle-dip, bop-bing-bong. Shoodle-dip, beat-it, shoodle-dip, bop-bing-bong. Shoodle-dip, beat-it, shoodle-dip, bop-bing-bong. Shoodle-dip, beat-it, oh-de-oh-de-oh-bop. of the game. Well, contradiction ought to be a shame. Contradiction all of the time. Contradiction blowing my mind. Say it again. Contradiction is the name of the game. Well, now contradiction, you ought to be ashamed. Good God, contradiction, everywhere you turn. Well, now contradiction, will we ever learn? Listen. You say you want peace, but you start a war. And you want to be free, but you pass a new law. Everybody's equal, but you segregator. Every man is your brother, but your neighbor you hate. Let's do it again now. Contradiction is the name of the game. Well, now contradiction, you ought to be ashamed. Ooh, contradiction all of the time. Good God, contradiction blowing my mind.
You wanna be healthy, but you eat junk food. Pop pills, drink alcohol, and break all the rules. You wanna be wise and develop your mind, but you're living off gossip all of the time.
Hey, it's contradiction. You're the name of the game. Ooh, contradiction. You ought to be ashamed. Well, now contradiction. Everywhere you turn. Good God, contradiction. Will we ever learn? Well, now you ought to be what you are. Instead of trying to be something that you ain't. Everybody ought to show their own true colors. Instead of trying to be a saint, because you ain't. Should be,
All right, we are back here at the Cool Veteran Show, and so we're going to talk about some of the events that we got coming up here. Martha, you have you want to go ahead and take that, and then
Sure.
we'll just kind of let everybody know what we're doing.
Sure. Well, there's a couple of, I want to start with a couple of local events as well for women veterans. So there's a wellness group that is starting here at the local Long Beach VA hospital. It's a 12-week wellness group, all-female group, and it looks like there's going to be some Tai Chi, some physical activities, and mindfulness exercises that are weaved into some small group discussion sessions. Again, an all-female group.
Did you say Tai Chi?
Improve physical and mental well-being of women vets. If anyone is interested in learning more about this program, it looks like it's going for 12 weeks on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours on Tuesdays in person, and Thursdays 1 hour one-on-one via VVC, so maybe some Zoom or some phone. But anywho, if you wanted to learn some more information about that,
Did you say,
please
excuse
reach
me,
out to
Martha?
Gladys,
Did
Gladys
you say
560.
Tai Chi?
Yeah, Tai Chi.
Okay.
Yep, and it's if you want some more information about that, please reach out to Gladys U at 562-966-2875. And again, this is for women veterans here locally in the Long Beach VA hospital. And then there's also another support group that looks like it's meeting, the Department of Veteran Affairs, a networking group for women veterans who own small businesses. So again, another opportunity to network with other women veterans, learn and grow through community around business development, gain resources, network and collaborate. And this looks like it goes from noon to 1, and then networking from 1 to 1:30 every Tuesday, started in February. And this is for, again, veterans women veterans. And if you're interested in learning more about that, you can look up the group Vet Biz Lady. And it looks like you'll have to Google that because I don't see any phone numbers unless you go to the VA.gov website. It just was kind of a QR code. But that's the name of the group, Vet Biz Lady, and it's a networking group for women veterans in collaboration with the Department of Veteran Affairs and the Women Veteran-Owned Small Business Initiative. So a couple of opportunities there I wanted to share, but equally as excited to share about an opportunity for women veterans. We've been working together in partnership with the Barbara Giordano Foundation, which is located in the state of New York. Barbara Giordano was a nurse back in the 80s, very involved in the non-traditional healing mechanisms and healing modalities. Again, I love yoga. I love meditation. I participate in meditation very regularly, and yoga has always been one of my favorites. But Barbara Giordano was one to think outside of the box and incorporated a lot of new healing modalities like sound therapy, tapping. There's lots that you can do with equine therapy, art. So the Giordano Foundation was expressing interest with the working with the women veterans at the PVA. So we've been partnering together to kind of create, and this is exciting that it's now coming to fruition, an equine therapy program with the Horse Project that's located in Santa Barbara, California. So in March, starting in March, and we're looking at the third weekend in March, we are going to bring 6 to 10 women veterans together, again, to get some of this very good therapy and therapeutic work that the horses. I'm equally as excited to learn how, I've heard more about equine therapy, but there's also some research to go behind it on how donkeys are also very instrumental in helping with therapy. So for women, any women veterans out there that might be struggling with anxiety, stress, depression, loss, or just want to, learn some new ways to kind of enjoy life, incorporate, joy and meaning into your life, this program will be free for women veterans. We do have the PVA women that are in wheelchairs coming along, but you do not have to be in a wheelchair if you want to participate. Again, if you don't have to have anxiety or depression to participate either. If you are just interested in connecting, kind of with other women veterans, learning about mentorship, again, you can participate. You don't have to have any kind of an issue or, whatever. We're opening this up to all women veterans. So the horses in this program, again, have been trained, and so there's a professional therapist and providers that will be co-facilitating this event along, again, with the Barbara Giordano Foundation, and in particular Virginia Giordano, who is the sister of Barbara, that leads the foundation. I'm just very excited as we've been talking and working closely with them for, the last year and a half. There's also some very good free Zoom therapy sessions that are provided by the Barbara Giordano Foundation, and that's, www.barbaragiordanofoundation.org. And if you're a woman veteran out there that can Zoom in from, any other state, again, these Zoom links and Zoom sessions are free of charge for all women veterans. I know that several of our PVA board members, women vets that are on our board, have Zoomed in on Thursdays. They're not always on Thursdays. I know some are Mondays and Wednesdays as well, but some are Tuesdays and Thursdays. But we've been able to participate in some of the other Zoom therapies that the Giordano Foundation has provided. So
that's
very
great.
interested. If you're interested, again, you can also contact the PVA office. You can reach out to the Horse Project at gmail.com, and there you'll be able to sign up and get an application emailed over to you. So that third,
we got about a minute, less than a minute. So what you can do is get in touch with us at pvacc.org. Send us an email or call us at area code 826-5713, 562-826-5713, or send an email at info@pvacc.org. We are the Cool Veteran Show, and we want to make sure everybody knows that you come and listen to this, and this is where the topics are hot and the people are cool. And so I want to throw one quick shout out to my boys over at U2 Mobility. And when I come back on the next show, we'll talk a little bit more about the Abilities Expo. But this is wrapping it up. You got 10 seconds, Martha. I'm going to leave it with you. That's Martha Varela and Charles Whitehead, Cool Veteran Show.
Thank you.
The Legacy. Southern California's KCAA, the #1 talk radio station in the Inland Empire.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio each month for news, weather, and emergency information. A new bill in Congress would make sure AM radio remains in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service